So it's near the end of August 2013. I thought I'd just see how some of the plants have been getting on. Most of them have just sort of been surviving rather than thriving this year, because I've been doing all the major stuff with the house and the garden. A lot of stuff just being left in pots, watered, but that's about it. So we've got a nice yucca and some little cacti at the bottom. Trying to get this big one to root. It didn't root last year, so it can root this year. It'll start rotting rather than growing, so hopefully that'll have rooted. This Alocasia, I chopped all its leaves off in May, every single one, because it was covered in red spider mite. So all that growth is sort of from June really, which is pretty good. Quite happy with that. All that growth has been outside because I've had no greenhouse. Got the nice Colocasia mojito that's come back from the dead. Nice coloring on that. Not fed that once at all. This one was meant to be Nancy's Revenge, but I think it could be Ruffles, or not Ruffles, the teacup one, which you don't see that often. Because it has got sort of folded up leaves, slightly Alocasia the way it grows rather than Colocasia. So I'm not really certain what it is. It's a slow grower anyway. So here's all my sort of my lush planting that I started in June. It's got a few sunflowers from seed, which haven't flowered yet because they were very late, sowed them in June. And my Oncite bananas, which the tallest leaf gets up to 8 foot up there. So yeah, plenty of growth in this bed, including this beautiful Canna Palestinii, and another flower spike up there, which hasn't come out yet. It's over 8 foot tall, so that'll be nice. My nice Eucomis, there's plenty of them. Again, they were planted really late, so they're just flowering now. But nice bunch of plants. £1 a bulb. You get about 1 to 2 flowers per bulb. They're well worth the money. What else have we got here? Loads of Colocasias, mostly pink china, but there is a sangria down here which you can see. It's got much stronger coloration on the back of on the veins, back of the leaves, and the stems as well. So hopefully they'll multiply and hopefully they'll be as hard as pink china. What else have we got? Some more gingers, variegated gingers behind there. Oh, we've got this nice Canna, what's it called? Iridifolia, I think. Loads of nice flowers, very bright pink. Be nice for a different colour, but it's a species cross, so it's pretty good, this one. It flowers for quite a long time as well. And that's in a pot because I can get around to planting that one. Loads of plants in pots, which I won't really talk much about, apart from obviously you can see they need feeding. But just had to suffer really this year. I've not had time to do anything with them. The poor yucca's got, so yeah, I need to put some compost in there or something. So I've got something to live in. I was dug up basically middle of January when we moved house, and just left like that, but it's still growing. A load of gunneras. Nice Paragibae Sunco, which is growing decent leaves now. Hopefully there'll be split leaves next year. But that's settled in nicely. Brea Agilis, put out about 5-6 leaves. Again, that needs a good feed. Got my silk tree, which is going to flower soon, hopefully, which will be nice. Oh, I'm pleased about this. It took 4 years for it to flower again. Some Eucomis Pulliventii. It's just bulked up the last 3 or 4 years and finally flowered, or flowering for the second time now. That's the biggest flowering Eucomis. More bits and bobs down here. I like the seed grown Lobelia tuber here, which is flowering for the first time. Just a little bit of a flower, not the full flower spikes I should do if they're planted in the ground and being fed. It's nice to see a bit of colour. That's a big T-Rex there. Not big leaves because it's just been put in a little pot yet to be planted because I've not decided where I'm going to let that go. I've come back around to the house. Got a few bananas here. I've got the Thai black, which has put out all these new leaves since June. Nice black stem on that one. And Sycamensis. Oh, that's my compost heap that I'm just making out of old pallets. We'll see how that progresses, see if I can get decent compost out of that within a year. Hopefully will do. And around here are my tree ferns, Fatsias and Shephelas. Still got the leaves from last year, these Dixonia Antarctica tree ferns. A couple of new fronds just been emerging over the last couple of weeks. And further around I've got gingers, and then my bamboos that I planted a few weeks ago. Fatsia Annalise there, which I really like, really good colour. Got some ferns, Calipanex there. Perhaps hedgerows growing up beside that wall there. Oh yeah, I like these down here. Got a little ginger here, nice little red flower, yellow and red flowers, and more pink chinas growing down there. A nice ginger forestii here, which is going to flower soon, I think. Quite short this year because it's sort of, again, not being fed or watered much, but it's going to flower at about 3 foot rather than 5 or 6 foot like it normally does. What we've got back here, Polycarpa there. Nice acer there, nice bit of colour. Some nice ground ferns in there. That's a big Fatsia that goes up there. That was here when we moved in. It's growing really wet soil, but it seems to be alright, so it seems to be able to cope with those conditions, and hopefully the other Fatsias and Shephelas will as well. Although I have raised and made the soil a bit more free draining, so it won't be very wet. So yeah, that's that part of the garden. I've seen the other part in the other video at the back end with a jabea. Bananas down here, so I won't go into that again. Oh, last thing. This cycad here, I've been doing a time-lapse photography on it, taking about 20,000 photographs, and it has moved bugger all since it started. That's been a waste of time. Hopefully it will flush at some point. I'll probably wait for next year now, hopefully, otherwise it will be frosted as the fronds emerge. Alright, that's enough for now. Hopefully next time I do a video there'll be a lot more plants in the ground and a lot more stuff done.